Okay, so here we go. Today what we're going to go over is we are going to do more with variables and potentially inputs. So an input is when you ask the user using your code to input something. So it's pretty easy. And then that's actually, I think, the end of it. Yeah, and then there's some stuff with printing and swapping between variable types, and then we're done with chapter 1. So my book needs to stay open, but it won't. I need a paperweight. Close enough. Okay, so again, yesterday or last week, I'll say yesterday, and I just mean the last time we had class, or I'll say tomorrow, and that just means the next time we have class. Okay, so if on like Tuesday, I say tomorrow, I obviously don't mean Wednesday and Thursday because we don't have class. I mean Friday. Just throwing that out there, so if you guys get confused. So, what are the 3 data types we learned last week? So, did you yell them out? String, float, integer. So if I want to make a string, let's say I want to make name equal a string, how do I do that?
You use the quotation marks.
Quotation marks. So since Peter answered. If I want to make an integer, how do I do that? Besides Peter. You guys can just start talking.
X equals 17.
And how do I make a float?
X equals.
Ooh, should I use X?
Why? Never mind, yeah.
Why shouldn't I use X?
Because it's already defined.
X is already defined here, correct? And then it would redefine it. So I'll do y is an what?
12.7.
12.7. Awesome. So these are our 3 data types. Now, real quick, this is something that will be more useful the more complex your code becomes. If you type the word type, you see how it changes colors? That means it's a function, it's code written already in Python that you can use to do something else. So if you type the word type followed by parentheses, and inside that parentheses, you type in name, it will give you what type of variable it is. So we'll do type y and type x. And it gives us float, int, or string. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Who remembers how to display information to the user?
Print.
Print, yep. So I can print name. Now obviously when we're only working inside the shell, doesn't matter that much because I can just type X or Y or name and it displays it. But when we're writing our long code, which is something we'll get to
Tomorrow.
No, potentially today, depending on how quickly we get through all this. You don't really need it, but you'll need it when we're writing actual code, not just this line-by-line stuff, okay? Is this okay? Can I do this?
No.
Who says no, raise your hand. Raise your hand high. Who says yeah? Who says I don't know? Who says yes? Okay. Right? Now, name is what type of variable? String. So, what are we doing when we put 2 strings together? One right next to the other. What is that called?
Concatenation.
What?
Concoctinating?
Very, very close. We're not concocting a potion. We're concatenating strings. Concatenate. So think of it that way. We're not concocting a potion. We're concatenating strings.
But potion seller require your strongest potion.
Yeah.
Is it not?
I need your potions. I need you to concoct a potion. We're not concocting potions.
You guys don't know the video I'm talking about.
No, I don't. I just went off of what you were
You
doing.
guys should definitely watch that video.
Maybe.
Potion seller. I'm pretty sure it's
law appropriate.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure having a conversation with himself. He's like, potions require your strongest potions. Like, my potions are too strong for you mortal.
Okay.
So funny.
Maybe I'll do that. So this is concatenating strings. What will happen here? Error. Not a syntax error, but a type error. Syntax error is I have a comma where I shouldn't. Whereas type error is you're mixing stuff that can't mix. Is this okay?
Yes.
What will the end result be and what type of data, what type of variable data type?
It's gonna be float.
Exactly. You guys remembering all this. Awesome. So now if I have name, actually, so I'm gonna jump into the book. So we're on page 9 of the book, or you guys can follow along online. So if spam is 40, if we just type spam, obviously we get 40. This is just adding variables together, which we've done. We just, instead of having X and Y, we're having actual names. Now, in coding, do not use letters as variables. Do not use letters as variables. The one instance in which that's okay is you do for something like for X in range 10. Print X, right? I'm basically just using X as a counter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could put for number in range 10 print number, and I get the exact same code. Do not have X is Peter, Y is Jimmy, A is 17 or 19, B is hello, right? Don't do this because when you're going through your code, you'll be like, wait. Am I supposed to be printing Jimmy or Peter? Then you got to look at A, X, B, Y, and it'll just be confusing. So what you want to do is you want to do like name 1 is Peter. I can't spell. Name 2 is Jimmy. That sort of thing. So counter is 10, or person is, or you could even do number of people is 100. Right? You don't want to use X, Y, A, B, C for almost any variable. You want the name of the variable to tell you what the variable is. Okay? Questions on that? We're going to get to acceptable variable names in just a minute, okay? Ooh, that's not good. Okay.
My question is why?
Why what?
What does this do?
What does what do?
This.
The thing we're using to code in?
Yeah.
This is the interface between the user and the coder. What?
These are all different actions that will lead to something.
Excuse me, thank you. What do you mean these are all actions that will lead to something?
I don't know.
So currently, what we're learning the letters of how to make words, of how to make sentences. Okay? So today, depending on what time we get out of here, so 53 plus 45 is, I don't know, 30 something. So we got like 25 minutes. Hopefully we'll get to where we actually write code, and you'll see this is where we write code, this is where it executes. Currently, we're doing everything where it executes just to get how to build the first sentence in our code. So we're going to get to that. We might, yeah. So number of people is 100. So we're going to get to why you can have this as a variable name, but you can't have 9 as 9. There's a good reason for that. So last thing, if we were to, so spam is 40, spam is spam plus 10. What will spam equal after this code runs?
30 and 50. 30 and 40. That'll be 50.
Right? Because what we're saying is what spam is going to equals what spam is plus 10. Now think of it this way. Brandon, say you have a hypothetical wallet with $50 in it. Okay? And I give you $10 to put in that wallet. How much money is in your wallet?
60.
Yep. So if I were to do wallet equals wallet plus 10. Oh wait, I haven't defined wallet. So wallet is 50, and then I do wallet equals wallet plus 10. Does that make more sense?
Yes, if you change this is
Yes, this is algebra. So wallet now equals 60. This is called a running total, and we're going to use this when we get to loops. So I'm just introducing the idea to you now. So does that make sense? Does anyone have questions on how that works? Okay, no one's tried to join, but okay, so that's good.
You heard a little ring.
What?
Did you hear a ring?
No, I was just double checking because last time I didn't double check. Should also probably check on campus real quick in there case I've had any messages. I've not had any messages. Okay, so does that make sense? Wallet equals what wallet was, because if I just had wallet is 50, right? And I want to add 10 to it, wallet is 10. Wallet's only going to equal 10, not 60. So just because I put money in a wallet, new money that wasn't there before, doesn't mean I take the old money out. I leave the old money in there. Ezra.
How come you put like a space in between everything? Like you have to put a space in between equals.
Nope, that's just how I code.
Okay.
You could totally go wallet is 19. I don't like that just because that in college I was told not to and I got used to it, and it helps me read it better. It's just neater. But you don't have to. Okay, so questions so far. Okay, we've gone over that. Variable name. Oh, sorry, Josh.
So wait, when wallet is 50 and you do wallet equals wallet plus 10, you're just redefining wallet using its form or definition.
Yep.
It's not just like adding to it, right? So that one time it's actually
It redefines it as the new amount.
Okay.
So like every day on Josh's birthday, Josh's age equals Josh's age plus 1. So every year it increases by 1. Does that make sense? Okay. So now there's just some things in variable names, and then I think we will actually get to, we're going to code our first program, and then we're going to dissect it following the book, as opposed to learning it and then putting together a program. We're going to write the program and then dissect it. Hopefully that, plus then we actually get to use the shell or the console. So I can have letters be my variable names. Okay. It doesn't matter how long. Actually, that won't work because I have colons in it. Okay. Don't have that be a variable name because that's really hard to type. Okay. So they can be really, really long names. So you could have number of people in the class with brown hair is 1, 2, 3, 4-ish, 5, 6, 7. We'll just say 8.
That would be very difficult to type.
Yes. So, however, I can't do, I can add number, I can have underscores, because an underscore, basically, I think the way it works, replaced spaces in old coding because they didn't want to have to deal with spaces. So an underscore is basically a space that isn't a space. Does that make sense?
It would affect it if you put a space instead of an underscore.
You cannot put spaces in variable names. Number of people is 10. Because as soon as you have a space, Python thinks you're done with a variable name. So you can't have spaces in variable names. But you can do number of people is 10, which is totally fine. You can even start with an underscore. You cannot start with a number. 1. So if you want to do one person, like because it sees the 1 as an integer and nothing else. Does that make sense? You'd have to do person 1 is Jimmy. Oops. So it's always best to start with a word, and if you need to keep track of multiple people, have at the end of that word a number. If you need, you can also do number, again, of, you could do this, underscores. You can also do, like in this book, number, you can have capitals in there. That works too. You cannot have symbols. So I can't do person exclamation point is 10. Because the exclamation point serves a different function in Python. It basically means does not equal. So you would do this to equal does to mean does not equal. So 1 does not equal, we'll get a true. 1 doesn't equal 1. Because 1 does equal 1. We're going to go over those comparisons later, but this means something. Notice it changes color.
Is that used a lot, or is that just?
Oh yeah, no, it's used a lot. When we're doing comparisons between does this equal that, yes or no, if what the user typed in equals this or doesn't equal this, do something. So we're going to get into that next chapter. It's called flow control. Any questions on what can or cannot be a variable name? You will need to know that for quizzes, by the way. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to write our first program. I know Mikey's excited. What we're going to do, once you open Python, you want to go to the top, File, top left, go File, and New File, and you will get what looks like a text edit box.
Whoa. We need both of these up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what I tend to do. Actually,
Which one will we be working in most?
this side over here, this is where you write the code, and then this is where the code outputs.
So we have an idle, like a shell, and then we have.
Wait, how do I open the second screen?
You go to File and go to New File. You can also just hit Control N.
And then we give them, and then it's split.
Yeah, and I'm just splitting it in half. You guys don't have to do this. I just do this so you guys can see input and output. That's up to you if you guys want to, though. Okay, so our first program is on chapter 1, page 12, and it's somewhere on the website. I don't know where. Well, it's obviously in chapter 1, but
Okay, chapter 1. Is it table 1-1?
There is no page 12.
I'm on the online thing.
there is page 12 in the book. Keep flipping.
What does it look like?
That's page 12.
No, flip the next page and look down.
Okay, so I found the one that
14?
says your first program, right?
Yes, it's your first program. Do you have the first edition or second edition? Let me see the front. That's the first edition. I don't know what page it's on, but it's keep scrolling through, just keep flipping until you see your first program. If it's on page, start like around page 20 maybe,
What do I do? Go to page 20?
give or take. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So if you guys bought the first edition, that's okay. Just sometimes the code I type, there have been updates, and so if my code differs from yours, please raise your hand and let me know. It's under writing your first program.
21.
Oh, see, I was very close.
Your first program.
Okay, so, the first thing we're going to do is this, if you do your hashtag as you youngins know it, I know it is the pound sign or the number sign. You see how it goes red? This is a comment. So this is where you type comments on your code, and Python doesn't, it totally ignores it. It jumps over it and acts like it's not there. So this is to just let the coder know what's going on. Does that make sense?
So you can write anything to remind yourself of something.
Yep. This program says hello and asks for my name. So again, anything in red, the Python skips over and ignores and doesn't do anything with. So this means you can comment out entire sections of your code to see where your code is breaking, or okay, I know this stuff works, but I don't want it to keep going because it does whatever. I'm going to comment it out and use something. I'm just going to focus on this. Brandon.
They say that you can use one hashtag.
What?
They say you can use one hashtag.
Yes, you can. I do too, for the simple reason of if you hold, pretend this is code, right? This highlighted part. If I hold Alt 3, it comments it out with 2, and if I hit Alt 4, it uncomments it out. So, right, imagine this is just lines and lines and lines and lines of code, right? If I highlight it all because I don't need it anymore or I want to test it, I can hold Alt 3, I can hold Alt and tap 3, and it adds the hashtags for me.
How do you remove the hashtag?
Alt 4. So it's anything that's highlighted. Alt 3 adds it. Alt 4 gets rid of it. So I've gotten so used to always doing.
That is so cool.
I've just been so used to doing Alt 3 and Alt 4 that I just always do. I just do 2. You guys don't have to. Again, if it works, you're fine. This is where differences in coding preferences come into play. I like spaces in between my variable names. You guys may hate it. Code however you want as long as the code works. Okay? So I'm going to get rid of all this because we don't need any of this. So the first thing is print hello world. If I could spell, that'd be nice.
Wait,
That-
you need the parentheses and the quotation?
Yep. Because anything inside the parentheses, and when we get into functions, which is, it'd be good to know, but I don't think we'll have time to, you'll understand why you need parentheses. But anything that has this color after it, or anything that turns this color, has to have parentheses after it, and then what you want to have happen has to be inside the parentheses. So now what we're going to do is we're going to save it. So we're going to go File, Save As, and you guys can save this wherever you guys want. I don't really care where. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share. I think I might already have done that. No. I'm going to make a folder that's going to contain all of the code that we do in class. So everything that you see up here after class will be available on I'm going to share a link with you guys, and you guys can download the stuff and use it as you'd like, okay? But I'll have to create that. So for now, our first program. So that's saved online, and like I said, I'm going to make that available to you guys. Now, in order for our code here to execute and be shown here, because we want to display hello world, right? We don't want to just write code and then never have it work, right? All you need to do is hit F5. Now, on your guys' computers, if you were to hit F5, it might just turn your volume down.
You have to hit function F9.
There is a little function, yep, Brandon's got it, with FN in the bottom left of your keyboard. That light has to be on. And then you hit F5 and your code will run.
The source must be saved.
Yep, you need to save it before you can run it. This means every time you run your code, it saves it. That's very good. It also means don't write 30 lines of code without running it or saving it, because if you accidentally delete it, you're in trouble. I've had students, they say accidentally delete their final project the day before the final project is due.
Ooh.
And I don't know what to do with that. It's like, well, you need to turn in a final project. So you have a day.
What happened?
I think I gave them an extra day to work on it or something like that.
So
Um, But again, that's 2 days versus 2.5 weeks. So please save your stuff to Google Backup and Sync, OneDrive, something. I'll give you guys USB sticks to work on everything, but I may come up with a more elegant solution. Sonny and then Josh.
Oh, so, how do you use F5 to save it?
So F5 just runs the code, and if you haven't saved it, it forces you to save it in order to run it.
Oh, wait.
Oh wait, where?
Yep, once you hit F5 in your program, you'll see it restarts, and there's my code. Does everyone have that?
It's not working for me.
What does it say?
It's just printing F5.
What do you mean it's printing F5?
It's just like typing it
What?
in. I don't know. I don't know if you're doing this.
Typing the letter F and
I
then
think
the
it
number
would
5,
help to be.
or are you hitting the F?
Are you in the console? Are you in
Oh,
this?
yeah, never mind.
Okay.
Sorry.
Does everyone have? Sonny, do you have it? What?
I call it pretty F5.
So in the bottom left of your keyboard,
Yes.
you should see a button that says FN. If you hit that and the light is on, then you hit the F5 button in the top row of your keyboard. Then it should run. Okay? Does everyone have that? If you do not, raise your hand.
I can't find the console.
Did you hit Control N? You just once you're in. Is
Yes,
that
now it works.
okay? All right. So we're gonna continue this because I'm not sure how long we have. So what's 53 plus 45? Minus 60.
That's not use Python.
Actually,
52.
not right
I'm
now.
gonna use Python to debug.
Yeah.
No.
52,
But
but
it
it's
can you actually?
Okay. No. So 53 plus 45.
Oh, no, you can't.
I'm really bad at math. So we have until 38. So I got 9 minutes, guys. Let's see if we can finish this. Otherwise, it'll be homework. So what we're now going to do, is we are going to print what is your name. And this is going to be the first time that we are taking an input from the user and assigning it to a variable, right? As opposed to just saying name is Peter, which kind of it's what we call hard coding, right? We don't take the input from a user, we just code it for them, which is not what we want to do. Because if you were to go to an ATM and type in your PIN, what if it just used 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, that's not your PIN, and you're not going to be able to get into your bank. So we need to code it so that the user can type something in, and we store that information as a variable to then use later. Does that make sense? So obviously we're not going to do name is Peter, and following along exactly with the book, we're going to do my name is input parentheses. So now when we run our code is going to pause here and wait for the user to type something in. And then we're going to do print it is good to meet you. Oh no, it's plus my name. And once you have this, I want you guys to run it by hitting F5, saving it. And you should see something like this. I keep leaning to the side.
Hello world. What?
Yeah, you gotta make sure you do this.
Wait, do what? Where?
Make sure you gotta make sure you have the input right here. So notice,
Oh.
I have light blue text. That is what my code is outputting to the user. And then I type in white text what I am inputting to the code.
Oh, do I have to type my name now?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you run it, you'll see this. See how it's blinking? It's waiting for you to type something in. It's actually waiting for you to hit the number enter or the button enter.
Nice to meet
It just
you.
it pauses it until you hit enter.
That is so cool. I can actually make a friend and talk to my friend on this. Oh my gosh.
You could.
Finally.
You could.
Finally, I'll have one.
Make a whole list of
Ezra.
requirements. Oh wait, so after input, do we leave that blank?
Yep, leave it blank for now.
Okay, so
Josh.
can you put like a when you write it is good to meet you, can you put an additional space that when they write their name they don't have to put a space at the beginning so it's not
Correct. That was my next thing was you guys notice what's happening. We have a string adding on to the end of a string. What do we need to make sure that is happening?
put a space.
We need to have a space.
Yeah.
So now when we run it, now we have a boom.
Oh, boom.
Ba-boom. Do you guys have questions on that? Ezra,
Where do we put the space?
right after you.
My brother.
Right here.
Thank you.
Yep.
You should make a project where we have to like make a friend and there's like different questions they'll ask us and we'll have different answers and we'll go different
I think this is a great idea.
I have had people make for their video game have it be a text adventure, which
That
I'm
is
totally
so
cool
cool.
with. But they also not only had text, but they had a background that reflected the text. So they're like, you're in a forest, you would see a forest.
That is
And you would
so
go, do you want to go north, south, east, or west? And you would do that.
Cool.
So
Okay.
you should make like a Harry Potter class.
Which class is giving us the art you said?
I'm not sure. I don't know which of Mr. McCallum's classes is going to actually do that.
Like media arts? Like
Something like that. One of his classes.
'Cause
Um,
I'm in media arts right now, so.
So you may be able to make the art for you, but he also may assign you someone else's.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna work. I still need to meet with him and iron out the logistics, but trust me, it's gonna happen.
Okay, that's sick.
All right. So the next thing, again, if we don't finish this, this is gonna be homework. So we only have 3 minutes, so I doubt we'll finish it. Print. So this is saying the length of your name is. And then we're going to print length my name. All right, so we have 3 lines. Actually, we're dissecting it as we go along with it, so that's okay. All right, guys. So finishing this is the rest of your homework. And that's it. So make sure this is ready for tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. And then we're going to continue all along in the book. And we'll finish chapter 1 tomorrow. We may even get into chapter 2. Once we finish chapter 1, there'll be a little quiz on it probably Friday.
Are you gonna put a reminder
So we just-
on campus about this?
Yeah, I'll put up an assignment that you guys can upload your code to by tomorrow.
Are we supposed to submit it like through there?
Yeah,
How do you do that?
File save as, right?
file save as, just upload it as a file.
Okay.
I'll make sure you guys, if you guys have questions or you can't do it, or if you guys have errors, please message me before class. So if you cannot upload it, this goes for you two people online. If you can't upload an assignment for whatever reason, message me on campus as soon as you realize that. Because if you wait until class, I'll think you haven't done it. So if Mikey comes in and goes, I couldn't upload my work, so I don't have it done. to me, that's I didn't finish it, and it's not done. So I need another day. So message me as soon as you have a mistake. Have a good day, everyone.